Gauteng's Premier Nomvula Mokonyane receives a memorandum of demands from Cosatu-led protesters at her office in the Joburg city centre. And a bill aimed at making the Hawks more independent from political interference is being considered in Parliament. I'm Richard Brooks. Gauteng's Premier Nomvula Mokonyane has received a memorandum of demands from Cosatu-led protesters at her office in the Joburg city centre. Thousands of protesters have been marching to various government departments, protesting against labour brokers and e-tolling. Teto Matlakwana has more.
As the march continues into the afternoon, the energy that was seen earlier in the day has been replaced by tiredness, with some of the workers opting to rest on pavements at the Beas-Nodia Square and other areas. The marchers will now head to the Department of the Finance MEC and the Chamber of Mines before converging back to the square. Business is also booming for street vendors who are selling cooked meals and drinks to the marchers. Teto Matlakwana, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Cosatu's mass action is meanwhile beginning to wind down. Thousands of people in several towns and cities listened to Labour Federation leaders condemning the financial strain of labour brokering on the working class. Cosatu's General Secretary Zwelinzima Vavi said some government leaders had forgotten their roots and should realise the power of the working masses. He added that public transport was inadequate and that the Federation was against the privatisation of public roads.
To the ministers, we have only one warning for them. We are extremely disappointed by the statement of the ANC last night. Comrade Jackson Temple says we are exaggerating our poverty.
The Cape Chamber of Commerce says it's unlikely that the Cosatu strike had a major impact on business and industry in the province. Chamber President Michael Bugrain says the issue of labour broking has been debated for months and that legislation around the issue is expected soon. He says while they support Cosatu's opposition to the e-tolling system, today's march was not functional.
The e-tolling is still something that is up in the air, and yes, we support them on the e-tolling, but we certainly can't support anything they're saying whatsoever with regard to the labour broking. We didn't have that many people here in Cape Town, and we've had calls to the Chamber of Commerce from our members, and it doesn't appear that any of the factories have come to any standstill.
A bill aimed at making the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigations, also known as the Hawks, more independent from political interference, is being considered in Parliament. This follows a Constitutional Court ruling in March last year that the elite crime-fighting unit did not have the necessary independence. SAPS Secretary Jenny Irish Oboshiani says currently the functions of the Hawks are set out in terms of the interim constitution.
If one looks at the interim constitution, the National Commissioner is responsible for the investigation of organised crime. But 207 does not spell that out. Now, if we are now making the head of the DPCI responsible for the investigation of organised crime,